Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Tuesday, October 22, 2019. We're back at the 1956 17-foot Chris Craft Sportsman, the special Sportsman. As you can see, she is completely cleaned down to her ribs, and it's now decision time. Several people who commented on what they've seen so far raised the issue of whether or not we could save her. We can, but the effort is going to be substantial. So I'll let RJ and Joe walk you through the issues we face, and we'll start right up here at the bow. Remember, this boat sat right side up outdoors for a long time. Well, this is why you don't want to.
Right in here, when we got the plywood off, we noticed a little bit of dry rot. I started poking at it with the putty knife and the flat bar, and this right here is really rotted right in here. And this board is about 3/4 of an inch thick. That goes up through here, and once you dig all the rot out, you're not going to have very much board left. So my thought is this needs to be replaced, and the same as on the other side, it's the same way.
And the stem cap that comes down?
The stem cap is really dry rotted and really brittle.
Up here.
Yeah, up here it's really bad.
And then we get back to the keel, and the plank landing on the sides of the keel.
Right here down both sides it's very brittle. This side's even worse than that side.
And a couple of the sister frames are rotted out right there too.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, we have to disassemble what we see right here.
Correct.
On both sides, because both sides, flip it over. The port side is not quite as bad as the starboard side, but if we move the camera over here, I apologize if I'm making people dizzy. We really have another area. You can see it. It just sat for a long time with water sitting down in the bilge.
Yeah. All the way down along here.
Right.
It's really soft.
So,
and
this entire assembly must be released from the boat, and it ends right just above the, well, the boat's upside down, just below the chine. Yeah. And then we get to the chine planks themselves. Joe?
Yeah, right. Actually, it's on both of them. This one's the worst of the two, but right down along, I mean, it's dry rotted to the point where even these frames going down are rotted out. At least down towards the bottom of them, where up just the water's been sitting. And on the back side, back here, I mean, we can go all the way through it. It's rotted right through the back side of the chine here, and also on this frame right here, it's dry rotted out down 3 or 4 inches. So on these three frames, we're going to need to have to do repair work to that, as well as doing the chine.
We can sister blocks onto the sides of those frames, because to swap out those frames, we have to take all of the topside planks must be removed, and all of the battens. And
right now, my thought is getting as much rot out as we can, and if we put a new, sandwich a new block in right here and right there, it's taking a little bit off of that, and we can always fill that with they probably like the Fixo wood epoxy. Take the rod out and refill it. And it's punky down not so much down, about 4.5 inches down. So just on the back side of that first plank there.
And the problem with the keel is that with the landing pretty much shot, I'd say very much shot, we can't put planks back on top of this, because this is where in particular all of the screws were just spinning on us. We now know why. There's no wood on either side for the nails, the screws to grab into. The keel gets better further aft, but I'm not particularly comfortable sistering a keel, because that's the boat's backbone. So we're looking at replacing 15 feet, a 15-foot about keel, unless you guys have got another solution. The ribs, the main ribs are all savable. We'll have to do some blocking on the hull side ribs in several places. And it's possible we could scarf joint back in here somewhere and add a rib. Once the keel gets flat, there's not nearly as much lateral pressure on it as there is up forward. And then, of course, there are secondary ribs that run between these main ribs at the bottom, and they are pretty much shot.
This is the bottom plank on the transom, and it's pretty well shot.
It is. It can't go back on the boat.
No.
No. That particular plank will be painted.
Right.
How about the chine planks on the two sides? What kind of shape are they in?
There's a few on the inner side where it's a little rotted out just from where it was sat. Like this is the biggest extension of the chine plank. I mean, what we'll do, we could probably dig that out and save it, because this side is still pretty solid. And there's not really anything for crack damage to it.
Yeah, but given where that is, Joe, we'll put this back in bedded in 5200. This will all be attached to the chine.
Right. I mean, probably be wise to replace it.
I would say we will be replacing that. How about
This one's okay.
That's the front one,
I
huh?
wouldn't change it because of the simple fact that this one up front, you have varnish on it.
Yep.
So if you change this plank, it's never going to match
That's right.
the old sideboards.
Right. And that's up out of the water by the time it gets up there. And the two chines we took off, they're absolutely savable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, those of you who were concerned about our ability to save the boat will now appreciate the fact that, as I suggested earlier, we never know what these ancient ladies are hiding under their skirts, and in this case, we now know that her skeleton's got some major issues that we can deal with. Oh, I forgot the last one. The chines themselves will have to be replaced, and that means we'll have to find some about 21-foot lumber, given where it curves. We can do it. we can save her. It'll be up to the owners of whether or not we're going to do that. Well, this is our last update for a little while. We'll converse with her owner and come back to you with our decision. And as we make progress, we'll continue updating our preservation of this 1956 17-foot Chris Craft Sportsman. But thank you very much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.